Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Herder Show, brought to you by Over a Beer. I'm Nick.
I'm Rich.
And this is the second episode of this week.
Yeah, week 7.
Week 7. Hopefully a strong 7.
Yeah,
right?
We'll see.
Again, we're from the Over a Beer channel. Let's start off by just telling what we're drinking this week.
Yeah.
You're not a fan.
I am not a fan of this.
So, you're not a fan. I think it's alright. It's Mackenzie's Hard Cider Pumpkin Jack cider.
Yeah, hard pressed pumpkin jack. No.
It's very
God, I hate that. That's awful. That's terrible. Why? We're over a beer. We're not over a cider.
All right, my bad.
Oh, God.
So, hey Rich.
Hey Nick.
What have you been up to?
Kind of been a light week for me. The big thing that we haven't talked about so far, because I did see Goosebumps.
Okay.
We talked about that a little bit last week. I did enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. Definitely worthy of the name, and having, be the film.
You're worried about it too.
I was really worried about it. But it was a really good family film.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of stuff in there for old fans. There's enough to keep the kids occupied. Like, it really is kind of just a very good, well-rounded family film. Plenty of stuff for the Goosebumps fans, and little ins and little things here and there.
Oh yeah, it's full of them.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And then the other thing that I watched, which I believe you watched as well, is Ash vs. Evil Dead. Just started Halloween on Stars. I really liked it. What did you think? I'll go in a little bit more detail. I have a couple issues, but overall I really liked it.
I wish I was more into it.
Okay.
I had some issues for sure with, just there's some. I don't want to be too judgmental. It is just a small show on Stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see Bruce Campbell back in the role.
Yeah.
But there's just some of it. It just felt kind of fake to me. Like it didn't seem. You had Sam Raimi directing the pilot. It felt just kind of amateurish to me. And there's been some stuff written online, people complaining about some of the CGI, and there was some rough CGI.
That's kind of one of my biggest.
And that's kind of disappointing, because part of what makes Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 so charming is that
it's all practical.
It's all practical, and there's the part with the doll, that looked awful. To the point where it kind of took me out of enjoying it a little bit.
And it's a shame, the practical effects in it there's really good practical effects in there.
Yeah.
But then they have this really bad CGI, almost commercial grade CGI. And I was talking to someone on Facebook about this, and they were like, well, that's part of the charm, it's cheesy effects. I'm like, well, no, it's cheesy practical effects that have kind of given it that charm. There's never been a CGI issue. There have been stop motion in Army of Darkness, but there's never been a problem with CGI. The cheesiness has kind of come from some of the practical effects.
Yeah, because there's something you can appreciate about the practical effects. And I've always admired directors who won't settle for bad CGI, where they'll push for the practical, even when it is more time consuming, maybe costs a little bit more or whatever. And there was a time where I felt like Sam Raimi was that kind of person. But now coming off of Oz the Great and the Powerful, which was just a shit show of bad CGI. And now, even a little bit of this, it's just kind of
Well, I have to wonder if some of it, it is a small show on Stars. I wonder if it's kind of come from we could spend an extra X amount of time setting up this shot, doing, like you said, the doll doing, it's very Army of Darkness with all the little ashes and stuff, doing something like that. Or we could just be done, we don't have to spend as much money and just CGI it in, whatever, and call it a day.
Yeah.
I imagine their budget, is somewhat limited in some of those respects, but I agree.
It's I would say more than a mini miracle that this even exists.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
We got another true kind of continuation of the original Evil Dead franchise, even though they can't even acknowledge the existence of Army of Darkness. There's a rights issue.
Yeah.
They only have the rights to 1 and 2, which is fine. It's great that again, Bruce Campbell. So fun seeing him back.
Oh man,
he's right.
It's like he never. He just easily
eases right back into it right from the beginning. Hilarious, kind of plays off of. I instantly thought of that original Incredibles teaser where Mr. Incredible's trying to squeeze in his suit.
Yeah.
That was really fun, and then right into the bar. That was really true to the character and everything. Some of the supporting cast I instantly just didn't care for.
They're okay. Like I don't.
Fine.
We'll see how the series goes.
The thing is, I won't see. This was available for free online.
Okay.
Via Stars. I didn't steal it or pirate it, and I'm not going to pirate it. I don't do that. But I'm not. It didn't convince me that I need to go out and get Stars for this.
Okay.
I'm not going to get Stars. Eventually, this will be available to view another way.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, after watching the pilot, it was kind of entertaining. But I'm fine waiting. I was hoping I would watch it and be like, well, I guess I'm going to have Stars for the next 3 months because I got to watch this show every week. And that's just not what I was left with. And if I wasn't left feeling that way after a pilot directed by the original series creator, then I'm definitely not going to feel that way, I don't think. Like, I'm not more confident that other directors that aren't Sam Raimi are going to do more.
And that's what I think. I don't feel quite as strongly about the, Sam Raimi. I think it feels very Sam Raimi.
Mm-hmm.
Other than some of the CGI stuff. But I mean, considering what Sam Raimi's done since Evil Dead, it does kind of feel a little Sam Raimi. But part of what makes the Evil Dead movies so charming is his style.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how somebody else is going to be able... We've never seen an Evil Dead film direct, other than the remake. A main series Evil Dead film directed by any, but other than Sam Raimi. So I don't know how somebody else is going to do it, if it's going to feel the same, or if it's going to be like somebody trying to imitate Raimi.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, that's one of my concerns, as well as what are they going to do? It's already been renewed for a second season, before the pilot even aired. The first season, I think, is 10 episodes. I imagine the second season is probably 10 episodes. Half hour each. This one was 45 minutes. I don't know what they're going to do for 2 seasons. Like, for 10 hours, like, I don't... the kind of the good thing about, the Evil Dead films is they're very just self-contained, and they hit the points they need to hit, they get in, they get out, and they're done.
Mm-hmm.
For 10 hours of this, what's going to happen? I mean, I've never seen this franchise as like a big,
Maybe it'll work. To me, it just sounds like it's just going to feel bloated and extended, and we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing more, but...
Yeah, you'll have to come back and check
sure.
us in on it. Because, like I said, I'm not getting Stars for it, and that just is what it is.
No, that's fair.
But it is cool that they did make it available. Smart on their part, because
a lot of people
don't have Stars. But it is, again, very cool that it even exists, right? That we got to see him actually play that character when he was in the the thing at the end of whatever.
Yeah.
But to actually come back, that's really cool. Anything else you're up to?
That's it, really. It's kind of been a slow week for me.
All right. So I've been up to also some television this week.
Okay.
Let's see. One thing, when we recorded last week's What We've Been Up To, I had already seen this, and it honestly, it didn't even occur to me to bring it up. So that should say something about how I felt about it. But I watched the pilot for Supergirl.
Okay.
Which is on CBS Monday nights, if anybody hasn't seen it. Basically, the show is co-created by Greg Berlanti, who does Arrow and Flash.
Okay.
So he's not exactly the showrunner on this. He just co-created it, helped write the first episode. He's going to produce it. It was fine.
Okay.
It has potential to be a good series. I'm definitely going to continue to watch it. It really does kind of feel they're definitely trying to catch more of the Flash tone than the Arrow tone, where Arrow's a bit more serious. It's light, it's fun. It's going to be really interesting to see how this succeeds or doesn't on CBS. Because the show, the first episode, I think with DVR and 3 day after numbers, it ended up debuting at 16 million, which is a huge figure.
Yeah.
It was 12 night of.
Was this the one that was like the biggest,
most watched episode of a superhero network show ever, basically, or of the last decade? I think there might have been some other stuff like Lois and Clark was actually a pretty big hit back in the day. But so more watched than S.H.I.E.L.D., more watched than Gotham, more watched than Flash or Arrow, pretty big. But 12 million, which was that first night numbers, is like nothing for CBS. CBS is the most watched network. They have shows like NCIS and Big Bang Theory getting watched by 26 million people a week. Something that I always think of is that show, The Crazy Ones, that had Robin Williams and Sarah Michelle Gellar a few years back. That show got canceled after one season, and it averaged like 13 million viewers, which would have been the #1 show on any other network. So if this show started off, apparently the ratings came out for episode 2, they were down. Like, I don't know if it's going to survive on CBS anyway.
Well, I'm curious to see, it was the most watched superhero show ever of the decade or whatever. But, so I'm wondering if CBS is still taking that into account. And they're like, well, we're going to go with the superhero show. We're going to do something kind of out of our wheelhouse, a little more, genre heavy, kind of a little more niche crowd. I wonder if they're accounting for that and going, well,
I hope
by our typical standards, it's not doing as well. But by the standards of these types of shows, it is doing great.
Yeah, I hope that's how they view it. Give it some room to grow, or to not grow, but give it some time.
And if it does get canceled, it has the same guy who does Arrow and The Flash. I'd be curious if it then found that it didn't work on CBS, so we're going to put it on CW.
Maybe, which could happen because CBS owns CW.
Yeah.
So there's direct connection there. The other thing that I would say that is at least cool about that show is, we had Agent Carter, okay, but she's not really a superhero. It's a show set in the Marvel universe. So basically, Supergirl is sort of the first big female-centered superhero thing we've gotten.
Yeah.
Because we haven't gotten Captain Marvel yet. We haven't gotten the Wonder Woman. It beat basically everything.
Jessica Jones by a couple weeks.
By a couple weeks. So it's cool that it exists for that. It's cool that people did seek out that first episode, and we'll see if it continues. But it was just okay. Like I said, we did that like 2 days after, and I forgot that I even watched it. So that says something. Alright, so that's the first show I've watched. Second show, I'm a lot more high on than the pilot. I watched 2 episodes of the first season of iZombie.
Oh, okay.
iZombie is a show on CW, and season 1 was just recently, within the last 3 weeks, added to Netflix.
I really want to watch this.
This is a show from, can't think of his name.
I don't remember.
Rob. I don't know. I'll think of it later.
Some guy named Rob.
Yes, but he's the guy who co-created
Rob Zombie.
Yeah, Rob Zombie. No, it's from the guy who created Veronica Mars, and wow, this is bad. Party Down.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah,
I didn't realize this.
Yeah, it's from him.
Okay, cool.
And so this is a show also based on a very, very small comic. It's about a woman who is going to be a doctor, goes to a party on a boat, and a zombie outbreak happens on the boat, and she doesn't die. She's one of the only people who doesn't die, but she does get scratched by a zombie, and she becomes a zombie. But I think because she wasn't exactly killed, she's not full zombie. So she has a memory of her life and everything, but she also needs to eat brains. And so she quits, because this happens to her, she quits basically her job as becoming a doctor. She gets a job in a morgue so that she has access to brains. And it turns out that when she eats a brain of a dead person, she gets visions of how they died.
That's interesting. It's
like Chew. I don't know if you've ever heard of that comic.
No, what am I thinking of? The Romeo and Juliet zombie one. Just came out. Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, right. Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
A little bit like Warm Bodies, sure. But basically, so she ends up, she works in a morgue, so they kind of have to help out the cops a little bit. The cops come down and ask questions. She ends up she sees a vision, this detective overhears her, and then she has to pretend that she's a psychic. People don't know she's dead. Or that she's undead. And so she has to kind of play out like she's just a psychic, and she basically, I think the series is going to be her helping him solve murders.
So it sounds to me like Psych, but with zombies.
Never seen that show, but I know what it's about. Yeah,
okay.
Kind of. But also there is an overarching storyline you even get from the first 2 episodes where there is some other people who survived who are also zombies. There's a guy who could be like a main villain of the thing. So there's an overarching storyline, as long as it can be story of the week. Really fun dialogue. I liked all the characters right from the go. I would recommend checking it out. I mean, I'm basing that on 2 episodes.
Cool.
I've heard good things about the first season.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people kind of tell me good things, and I've been looking forward to sitting down to watch it.
It's definitely a lot of fun, and I mean, Veronica Mars, Party Down again, good stuff. So
Party Down's great.
check out iZombie. You can watch the first season on Netflix, and it's airing currently on CW Season 2. Third show, and final show. I had a day off the other day, and I watched 3 episodes of Season 2 of Fargo.
Oh, okay.
So this is FX's Fargo show. Did you see Season 1?
I missed Season 1. I have to go back and watch it.
So this Season 2 is not a continuation of Season 1. It takes place in the same universe of that show, but like in the past, this takes place in, I guess it would be the late 70s.
Okay.
Right when Reagan, or early 80s, I'm not sure, right when Reagan is running for president, I believe, because Reagan is going to be part of the show, played by Bruce Campbell, who you just talked about. But I mean, this show has an all-star cast. Kirsten Dunst, Patrick Wilson from the Insidious movies, from Conjuring, among other, Watchmen, Ted Danson, Jesse Plemons, who everything he shows up in seems to be good, whether it's Breaking Bad, There Will Be Blood, etc. Like, I mean, Friday Night Lights, he's always good. It's great. It's a really, really good show. 3 episodes in. Noah Hawley, the showrunner. You know, Fargo originally it just seemed like, what the hell are they doing making Fargo a TV show? And you know, it worked the first time. This is even more original. The first season of Fargo sort of takes some elements of the movie and kind of turns it into a similar type show. This is totally different, but really, really good. I think that you would like it a lot. You could watch Season 1, it's on Hulu, but it doesn't, they're not the same.
Connected.
Yeah, they're not.
It's like true, it's totally...
Yeah, there's a part in Season 1 where an older cop talks about how something crazy happened like 30 years before, and that is the connection.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay.
So, FX is currently airing Season 2 of Fargo, and you can check that out. And that's what I've been up to.
And that's what we've been up to.
So that's...
if you want to keep up what we've been up to outside of the show, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel is at OABeer_official. You can also email us at overbeerofficial@gmail.com. If you like these, please like the videos, share them with your friends, and subscribe to the page. We appreciate all of your support. We're on Facebook as well at facebook.com/overabeer. You can get to the YouTube channel from that page. We don't have a YouTube URL yet. We have to hit, I think it's 500 subscribers on YouTube to get that. So, again, if you like the videos, please subscribe and show your support. I think that's it for my spiel.
Yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode.
Yeah.
We'll see you
what
tomorrow.
we're up to. We'll see you tomorrow.